Okay, I'll call the regular meeting of Manual Council to order, please. December 18th, 2024, 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I, Councillor Fox, move to approve the agenda.
Seconder?
I, Councillor Heisler, second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, Council. Can I get a motion to adopt the consent section?
Motion to adopt. I, Councillor McKenzie, motion to adopt the consent section.
Seconder?
I, Councillor DeCleva, second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Council. Any disclosures, Council, tonight?
I have a disclosure. I want to declare a conflict of interest on item 8A, please.
Okay. Close end of the year. Okay, and before we move on to item 5, Terry has an update to the disclosures of interest.
Right, so Council, due to Councillor Dooley just being sworn in tonight and not being privy to anything that we have got on our agenda package, he is not able to vote this evening, so we will put this in the minutes, just in italics, so that people know. The motions can still be a unanimous vote, but we will just say in it, like Councillor Dooley unable to vote, so, because you can't abstain, right? So we will just have to do that. So anything, because it's most of our bylaws tonight are the third reading and enactment. He hasn't had any background on that. And because I have not had a chance to go over our budget, our 2024 budget, he's not able to vote on anything financial. So next meeting, you're good to go.
New year.
New year, new me.
Yeah, so.
Okay, we didn't have any public inquiries tonight, or no presentations, petitions, or delegations, so we'll move into item 7A, business arising from the consent section if applicable, bylaw number 35-2024, bylaw respecting animal control.
I, Councillor McKenzie, move that bylaw number 35-2024, bylaw respecting animal control, be given its third reading by title, in summary, and enacted.
I, Councillor Fox, second.
So, bylaw 35-2024, bylaw respecting animal control pursuant to subsection 10(1)K and 10(2) of the Local Governance Act, SNB 2017 C18, amendments thereto, and New Brunswick Regulation 2022-36, the Council of the Rural Community Handle hereby enacts as follows, by summary. Title, Section 1, Definitions, Section 2, Application, Section 3, Dog Control Officer, Section 4, Registration of Dogs, Section 5, Proof of registration, Section 6, wearing a collar, Section 7, vaccinated against rabies, Section 8, seizure of a dog at large, Section 9, dog known or suspected of being rabid, Section 10, dog alleged to have bitten, Section 11, tranquilizing devices in manner of destroying dogs, Section 12, prohibition, Section 13, offenses, Section 14, liability, Section 15, and enactment sections 16 and 17. Being enacted by the Council of Rural Community of Hamwell as follows. 1, this bylaw may be cited as Rural Community of Hamwell Dog Control Bylaw, and 2, this bylaw comes into force the date of final passing thereof.
Have a motion. I guess I need a seconder for the motion.
That's already been seconded.
Okay. So
Discussion phase.
Discussion.
Everybody read the bylaw?
No, we just,
No.
is there any way to?
Discussion phase.
Okay, all those in favor signify by, oh, sorry, any questions, comments, concerns?
Don't think so.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, Council.
Bylaw 35-2024, a bylaw respecting animal control.
Okay, item B, bylaw 3424, bylaw to amend the Rural Community of Hamwell Rural Plan. Second reading by title.
I, Councillor McKenzie, move that bylaw number 34-2024, bylaw to amend the Rural Community of Hamwell Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016, be given its second reading by title.
I, Counselor Heislip, second.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, council.
Bylaw number 19-2019.
Sec-
Oh, that's not right. Bylaw number 34-2024, a bylaw to amend the rural community of Hamilton Rural Plan. Bylaw number 11-2016.
Okay, item C, bylaw number 34-2024, a bylaw to amend the rural community of Hamwell Rural Plan.
Well, I guess I might as well go on and roll with it. I, Councilor McKenzie, move that bylaw number 34-2024, bylaw to amend the rural community of Hamwell Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016, be given its third reading by title in full and enacted.
I, Counselor Heislip, second.
Any questions, comments?
Okay, here we go.
All those in favor
So,
signify.
no, gotta read it first and then decide if someone wants to amend it or not. Hamwell Rural Community Bylaw number 34-2024, a bylaw to amend the rural community of Hamwell Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016. Pursuant to section 59 of the Community Planning Act, the Council of the Hamwell Rural Community enacts the following amendments to the rural community of Hamwell Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016. 1. The following amendment to subsection 241. 241, for the purposes of this bylaw, the area is divided into zones and delineated on the plan attached to Schedule A entitled Rural Community of Hamwell Zoning Map and dated February 2016 and is amended by Schedules 12-2016-B1, 12-2016-B2, 15-2019-D1, and 31-2023-I1. 2, that the land having PID 75193813 as shown on the map herein attached to Schedule 34-2024-K1 is hereby rezoned subject to the terms and conditions contained in Schedule 34-2024-K pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Planning Act from residential R zone to commercial light industrial CLI zone within the rural community of Hamwell and parish of Kingsclear in the county of York, being within the designated area of the rural community of Hamwell Rural Plan, bylaw number 11-2016. This bylaw shall come into effect and the binding on all persons as of and from the date filed at the registry office.
All right, any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
Bylaw number 34-2024, a bylaw to amend the rural community of Hamwell Rural Plan, bylaw 11-2016.
Thank you, Councilor McKenzie. Good reading as usual.
Why did you do it?
Item 8, new business. Item A is a call to Sunday sponsorship.
I'm going this way.
So we can't hear me talking.
Okay, council, so during our 2025 budget meetings, we discussed that we'd like to be a registered sponsor for the coldest night of the year. In light of the 2024 funding, would you like to also make an additional donation to coldest night of the year? Currently, we've got about $3,500 remaining in the 2024 grants and donation budget. So I was thinking that we could do $2,500 if you wish, or you can make an amount lower. I do have a couple other donation grants that I would like to suggest to you, so.
Yeah, that's why we were kind of looking at some of these, because if we do 1,000 and a couple 500, we're over the 30, if you only have 3,500 left. The other ones you have on here,
Yeah, but you also, there's a huge surplus.
was there, so we could afford to do this?
Yes, so I
Okay.
just wanted to check with you and how you would like to.
No, I think they sound great to me, personally. I just wanted to make sure we had enough to do it.
Yes,
If there's a surplus,
there is a surplus and we can
shuffle too?
Yep,
And as long as council's aware that we've gone over the budget amount for donations, that's fine with council, so
Yeah.
you can do the 2,500.
yeah,
It's a worthwhile time of year, it's a bad year, so.
yeah.
Question with that though, so for later on in the meeting, year-end transfers to capital,
Yes,
that takes into account that we, 1,000 over?
that takes everything
Okay.
into account.
Okay. So is it time to make a motion, or?
Yep, so I have somebody make a motion?
I would make a motion. Deputy Mayor Jonah move to authorize and direct the clerk or assistant treasurer to do a donation of $2,500 to the coldest night of the year on the 2024 budget.
Second.
I, Councillor Holt, will second that motion.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you, council. We can bring Councillor Fox back in.
Wait, no, just one second, there's one more motion.
Wait.
Sorry.
Can I make the second one?
Sure.
Whereas the Coolest Night of the Year event is a fundraiser for the John Howard Society of Fredericton for their work with people experiencing hurt, hunger, and homelessness, I, Councillor DeCleva, move that the council directs and authorizes the clerk to pay $1,000 to the Coldest Night of the Year for rest stop sponsorship from the 2025 operating budget.
Seconder?
Deputy Mayor Jonah would second.
Any questions, comments?
I just want clarification, if you don't mind.
No.
The rest stop sponsorship?
So there was 2 different sponsorships that you could do. I forget what the other one was called, but it was $500. And this one was called the Rest Stop sponsorship, and it was for $1,000. I think it's kind of the same way with Hamwell Days, how we always have like the gold, the silver, the bronze, or whatever. It's just the different sponsorship. Maybe when Councillor Fox gets back here, he might be able to clarify
I think
more for you.
in the past, I think the rest stop, they have they go to that Stepping Stones Center, they halfway through, you can stop in there and get warmed up, and they have whatever. You need a drink of water, or you need something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the rest stop. And they have someone sponsor them.
So that's just the level of sponsorship then?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, thanks.
Is there any difference on the first one, the second one, where we did 2,500 for the first one, then another 1,000 for this one? Couldn't we just do $3,500 all at once? And
Well, one we're taking out of 2024. You guys have already, but in our budget meetings, you had discussed about becoming a sponsorship for 2025. So that is why I'm bringing forward the 2025. So come January, I don't have to wait until January 20th until our council meeting. We can just write out the check from the 2025 budget. And then come the end of 2025, if we happen to have some money left, I'll bring it forward again to see if you guys might want to donate more. But I'm just doing this kind of to save time. So we'll do the first one because we had funding left over. We'll do that out of the 2024, and then as soon as we come back in January, we'll just write out the check so that they have it for 2025. Because the run is in February, right? So.
And see, the 2,500 sponsorship is a level of sponsorship they have that is a major sponsor, where you're getting all their advertising, you're on their websites and all this sort of thing. The other is a more minor.
so there is a difference between donating and sponsoring.
Yes.
Well,
Right,
Yeah,
so
that's
Get your-
the 2,500 is a donation
Okay.
or whatever.
Any other questions? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Now we can call Mr. Fox
Is
back.
Councillor
I haven't heard of
Kraus?
coughing lately.
Yeah.
Councillor Kraus, are you
with us?
online?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Okay.
He's quiet.
Just very quiet.
I have it muted because I've been coughing.
Okay.
No, I
I was
just wanted
gonna
to
say,
make sure that you're voting.
Yeah.
Okay, item 8B, 2024 F-350. Motion here.
Okay, so as part of the 2024 capital expenses, we had budgeted $75,000 for the 3/4 ton truck for the fire department from Wood Motors, which we got. If you recall, we were going to take that truck down to St. John and they were going to put a chassis on the back of it. They had previously given us a quote, it was around $43,000. But we had said at the time that we would just take those funds from our capital reserves. Because we do have a surplus this year, the auditor has suggested that we take it from our surplus for this year, and then we don't have to take it out of our reserves. There's kind of, we could keep it all into the surplus, make that transfer into the savings account, and then write a check back. But we might as well just take it all out of the operating fund now. So if you are fine with that, I'd like to have approval for that invoice, and then I will pay that out of general operating.
I, Councillor Heislip, move to authorize and direct the CAO to pay the invoice from Debway Truck Body in the amount of $42,500 plus HST for the aluminum service body for the 2024 Ford F-350 from the 2024 General Operating Fund instead of the Capital Reserve Fund.
Have a seconder?
I, Councillor Holt, will second that motion.
Any questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Item C, donations. So, a
Okay.
few donations to go through.
So last year we made donations to a couple of organizations. Due to the Canada Post strike, many organizations probably found it difficult to mail out their donation request. So I'm just wondering if you would like to do another donation to them this year. So last year we provided donations to the Fredericton Community Kitchen for $500. And we also did to the Fredericton Homeless Shelter in the amount of $500. So are you interested in doing those again this year?
I just have a quick question. So were there other organizations that we missed as well?
No, these were the ones that I went back through last year's donations, and these were the ones that we did, so.
And wouldn't they have emailed? So they didn't email us
No.
or any of that?
No.
They never email, they send mail.
I know they usually send
They
an
never
actual,
Yeah.
kind of like portfolio kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I got one from the shelters in the mail before the mail stopped, but I haven't seen any mail.
Councillor Fox?
Yeah, I know that, I know because I saw online that the kitchens, they weren't able to get theirs out, so they've been trying to make phone calls to catch up, is how they've been doing it, so yeah, they would have missed it because of the mail.
Yeah, I'm not sure which organization it was. There was a big thing on CBC News the other night, and they were saying it was one of the organizations in St. John anyway, and they were saying they usually come December, they get a lot of mail in donations, and they said they're really hurting this year because of the strike, so. So I will, if you guys want to decide on donations for those ones, and then I will go on to the next one for this.
Well, I'll make a motion for one if you like. My deputy mayor Jonah moved to authorize and direct the clerk to make a donation to the Fredericton Community Kitchen in the amount of $500.
Seconder?
Aye, Councillor Fox, second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. Next motion?
I, Councillor Holt, move to authorize and direct the clerk to make a donation to the Fredericton Homeless Shelter in the amount of $500.
Seconder?
And Councillor DeCleva, second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried.
Councillor Kraus, I just want to hear if he's
You
voted.
just,
I think
I think
he
that was a
coughed
yes.
yes.
Oh, okay.
2 coughs is no.
Okay.
And then one more item.
So our next next one, Council, we had talked about helping some families that may need assistance. You had asked me to reach out to the school to see if they knew of any families. The staff members that are looking after this project contacted me yesterday and said that they're purchasing Walmart gift cards to give to the families. There's quite a few kids that are in need of help in the Hamwell Park Academy. So by having Walmart cards, then families can purchase clothing, toys, necessity, or food. So she said that either we could make a donation to the school and they could purchase them, or if you want to authorize me, I can go pick them up and give them to the school. I think in the future, we should just automatically, next year, like maybe do our tree with the angels or something, but we really need to include the other schools like Garden Creek and stuff like that instead of just the Hamwell Park. But I really think that it would be nice to maybe do that angel tree. That's something we can talk about for next year.
So the only question I have is would they would know the amounts of cards to get if we let the school do it?
So we could do any thing. I was thinking if they have several families that, we could do $1,000 worth of cards and maybe do $250 each or whatever, and then they can give them to the families, or
But if we just simply give
200,
the
or we
school the cash and let them distribute
Absolutely,
it
and-
accordingly would probably be the easiest.
Yeah, that'd be easy. They would know who
Yeah.
needs how much, sort of thing.
Okay, Councillor Heisler.
Do we have any idea of numbers?
She didn't say, she just said that there was a great need.
Because I'm just wondering, is 1,000 enough, or,
And that's my
because
thought
this
too,
really
yeah.
impacts Hanwell residents, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm just wondering.
She didn't, like I said, I reached out to them ages ago and they just got back to me yesterday, so
So moving forward, maybe.
we could find out.
Yes,
and-
that would be better, so we can budget
Yeah.
a little bit.
This year might give
Yeah.
us an idea of how many they gave to. Maybe they gave
Maybe,
to-
yes, yeah, okay.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Okay, I, Councillor McKenzie, move to authorize the director clerk to make a donation to the Hamwell Park Academy either by payment or Walmart gift cards to assist the families in need in the amount of $1,000.
Seconder,
Aye, Councillor Heislip, second.
questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried, thank you. And moving on to item D, 2024 year-end transfers to capital reserves, I need a motion, please.
Okay, so, council, this year we have a surplus of $550,000 that's going to be transferred into our capital reserve. This seems like a great deal of money, and I'm sure that our residents are probably going to wonder why we have an extra $550,000. So this is after I've already taken into consideration all of these grants and donations and transfers, okay? So with the $550, it's very easy to explain. We had budgeted $100,000 for our welcome to Hanwell signs, and that didn't get done. They're not able to get those completed and installed until April. So that expense, those funds of $100,000 will move over to our reserves. Then I also received a grant for them, so that's actually $200,000 right there. We had budgeted an annual transfer of $150,000 for future fire trucks. So there's your $350,000. And then we received revenue that I hadn't budgeted for. We received an additional $75,000 in tourism levy fees that was above what I had budgeted, so they actually had better revenue than what I was expecting. And then this was the first year that, remember, we received reimbursements for the fire department for any forest fires that they fought, so that was like $45,000. That it's not something I can budget for because we never know if we're gonna have one forest fire, if we're gonna have 50, so there was that. Then funds were saved on 2 vacant positions over the last few months. So Councillor Bringlow has been vacant for a couple of months, and I am also, we have a staff member that hasn't been here for a couple of months, so that saved on those positions. We also saved funds for tipping fees. So if you recall, in early 2024, we had said the recycling program was changing, and we only had to pay for it until April, but we kind of thought that maybe people would start throwing a lot of their recyclables into the garbage, which would make our tipping fees higher. So we had took that into consideration, and I had budgeted a little bit more for tipping fees, but that didn't happen, so we actually saved money in the tipping fees. I also had budgeted funds for legal fees, and they didn't come in as high as what I was anticipating. And then there was some savings with fire station costs for the building, so they weren't always right up to, like, their repairs and maintenance wasn't always to what I had budgeted. So between all of those, there was about $140,000. So we can contribute $550,000 from our general operating to our capital reserves, and that's going to be our year-end surplus, so we'll be able to use that money for future projects.
Okay, can I have a motion, please?
Be it resolved that the Council of the Rural Community of Ham will contribute $550,000 from the general operating fund to the general capital reserve fund as the year-end surplus for 2024.
Seconder?
I, Councillor Holt, will second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Thank you very much. So there's no proclamations or no upcoming activities. So I'm going to declare a quick recess while our guests have a couple of papers to sign, so we can kind of stretch our legs or go get a drink of water or a chocolate, and we will reconvene in about 5 minutes. Okay, I'll call the meeting back to order. Now I need a motion to go into closed session.
I, Councillor Highslip, move to go into closed session.
Seconder?
I, Councillor McKenzie, second.
Okay, we are now in closed session.
We can vote. We can vote first.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. We are now in closed session. Thank you, Councilor McKenzie. Okay, can I get a motion to come out of closed session, please?
I move to come out of closed session and go into open session.
Seconder?
I, Councillor McKenzie, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Nothing else on the agenda, so I need the date, time, and location of the next meeting would be January the 15th, 2025, here at Council Chambers at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
Move to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned at 8 o'clock.